Well, we are back with part 2 of the LA episode. If you haven't listened to part 1, I highly recommend you do that now. It'll definitely get you up to speed with this whole adventure and this whole story. But right now, we are in the hotel room. This is like the richest, fanciest fuck hotel I have ever laid fucking eyes on or even stepped foot in. And here we are in this dinky, shitty room. You know, that's what they do. They mask the real hotel itself with a bunch of glitz and glam on the outside. Once you get in the room, man, it's just a fucking room. It's pretty lame. So here we are. I got a fucking stain on my collar, kind of pissed off. My bow tie is falling apart like a fucking burrito. It's just like the chains are just falling off it. And I had to make a choice right then and there. Like, do I try and fix it? Which I did try. I went to maintenance. And it was this little Mexican dude, and he was like, "You play guitar?" And I was like, "I do." And he was like, "I do too." And we started chatting about Children of Bodom and shit. It's fucking awesome. So he loaned me some scissors to try and cut the damn thing off so I could have a bow tie, but it was not working. All you could see was little frays coming out of it, and I had to make the choice of, just having an open collar concept, if that's even a word. Listen, if there's anybody listening to this that has any kind of class or any kind of money, like, forgive me. Okay? I don't know this lifestyle at all. So I'm just trying my best to fake it until I make it, right? So I got the stain going. I got the shitty bow tie happening. And here we are. We are ready to go. Now there's shuttles headed right to Eddie Murphy's house. So there's these 2 black shuttles hanging out front. And we walk down, and of course we're starting to see some of the other guests that are staying in the hotel, and we're introducing ourselves, and everyone's super nice. Except this one fucking guy. There's, when people just rub you the wrong fucking way, when you can smell them out, you can tell by their face that they're a piece of shit. So there's this piece of shit on the fucking bus. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I can smell this shit a mile away. This guy's got these beady fucking eyes and this dumbass beard and this fucking terrible haircut, and all he's doing is talking about how great he is on this shuttle ride. I bought property here. I starred in this. Things are going real fucking good. Yep, life is good. And he's not smiling while he's talking about this. He's doing it in this real Patrick Bateman type fucking mentality, like he's a psychopath. And he's looking around like who's looking at him. I can't stand these types of people. And I knew I didn't like this fucking guy. And he's talking to us like we know him, and he's trying to show off. He knows he could probably smell our bullshit because we're not rich. We don't have any fucking money. Fucking Brad has 12 cents to his name, and I got a fucking dilapidated suit that I'm trying to fucking hide, and try and blend in. So anyway, we're driving through in this shuttle, and we're going through the hills, and all you can see is these $1 million mansions, and it's like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And we're going higher up. This is what you see in the movies, folks. This is the real fucking deal here. This is no bullshit. And it's just like $1 million houses stuck next to each other, and we keep climbing and climbing. And now we see this massive fucking water, or a fountain. This massive fucking fountain, and guards everywhere, armed to the tits, cameras everywhere, massive fucking gate. And it's basically like a check-in center, because nobody can just walk right in there or drive right in there. You got to fucking present, all your fucking credentials of who the hell you are, why are you here, all this kind of stuff. And it's pretty wild. I got to say that I have never in my life been at a spot this fucking lavish. So we go through the gates, and we're still driving, and then once we pull over, here we are. I don't know about you guys, man, but Eddie Murphy's an 80s action icon, and of course, fucking one of the most well-known comedians of all time. So, this is pretty big shit. This property and mansion is what he has worked and built on for decades. And we all get out, and, I'm fucking trying. We're sweating. We're sweating. It's fucking hot. And not just that, but Brad and I are fucking terrified. We don't know anybody other than the bride and the groom, and that's it. And then, of course, this other douchebag that's right in front of us that's trying to fucking make small talk about how cool he is. Fuck that guy. I'm going to talk a lot more about him later. So we walk in, and boom, there's the house. There's these massive, like 10-foot hedges, and we're walking in. There's this beautiful fountain to the right, spitting out water, and to the left is his fucking huge house, massive doors. It's just absolutely incredible. So we're walking in, and just in pure awe, everyone's got their phones out, and for some reason, some guy comes up to us, and he's like, no, put your phone away. There's no film in here, or you're getting the boot. He didn't say get in the boot, or you'll be removed. We're like, what? You fucking kidding? Like, you know, if I get too drunk, I'm not going to remember anything. That's what the camera's for, right? It's an open bar. What the fuck? This is basically my memory right here. So we're like, really? And yeah, he was fucking serious. And Brad and I look at each other and like, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, how are we going to like document like this incredible moment for our friend, but not just that, but like our own personal moments, our personal time and some of the things that we went through. And we're pissed. We're like, this sucks. This really fucking sucks. So we put our phones away. And we're lined up. You have to do a COVID test, one of those rapid COVID tests before you're allowed inside. And goddamn, man, like that's fucking nerve-wracking right there. Imagine getting a negative or a positive test and realizing that you just flew to LA to see the shittiest Sunset Strip and the shittiest fucking Walk of Fame and the crappiest Hollywood sign, you know, just to fucking hang out. Oh, man, we were sweating bullets. But luckily, we did pass the test, fucking thankfully. And as we come up to the fucking, like the check-in center, we find out that we're not seated at the same table. What the fuck? Like, we're together, man. Like, we flew in together. We went to college together. Like, we're a fucking team, man. And I'm at like table 16 and Brad's at like table 6 or some shit. And we thought maybe there was like like they've, you know, the pen just swiped a 1 or something. No. But we were adamant. We're like, we need to be together. Like, we don't know anybody here. You know, you got to figure something out. So Allison, the wedding planner, the one that didn't send me the email about my meal, I found her and I said, listen, you got to figure something out. We got to sit at the same table. And so she's running around. She's trying to figure everything out and like make sure that we can get in there properly. So at that point in time, we just left. She said, I'll find you. And as we walk in, there's these fake hedges all along the side that is covering up basically like the toilet facilities. But you would never know that they were there unless you walked in. And once we go underneath these arches, we get into the backyard. And I'll tell you, folks, I'll try and paint this as best as I can. Actually, I'll probably drop in a couple videos here for the video podcast because I was able to take some videos, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But it was just absolutely stunning. There was helium balloons like at the bottom of the pool. There was so many flowers, like millions of fucking flowers all across the back of his property. And there's these beautiful paths and there's these high top tables where you can have your cocktails. And of course, then there's the runway, this red carpet runway, just full of flowers, making these arches over top. It was just absolutely stunning. And just the amount of work and effort that was put into this. So Brad and I are just like, fuck, man, like this is insane. This is way out of our fucking league, you know, and we just need a drink. That's all we're looking for at this point is a fucking drink, but they're not serving booze yet. I'll tell you, man, like, you know, we're fucking nerve-wracking, can't take photos, already gotten shit, might not be sitting together, and we can't fucking drink yet. We're just like, what is going on? What's going on here? You know, what's going on with the fucking stars tonight? Are they not aligned? But no. Of course, they had a plan. They didn't want anyone getting shit-faced before the ceremony, and I totally get that. So we're sitting there, and we're drinking some fucking lemonade or something, and the douchebag walks up as if he knows us. I don't know why this guy felt like there was some kind of like attraction, like he was just kept on fucking leeching off us, coming over and talking shit. So this guy shows up, and he's like, yeah, I've been drinking since 7:30 this morning. Like, all cool, like. And we're like, why? This is like your fucking special day. This is a crazy opportunity for you to meet some amazing people. Why the fuck are you getting shit-faced at 7:30 in the morning as if it's your brother's bachelor party or some shit? And then he's saying, oh, yeah, and I was drinking the gin straight. And I was like, yeah, that's my fucking gin. That's the shit I provided. And now you're shit-faced on it? And the guy's like, I don't give a fuck. He's being all cocky, all narcissistic. And he's telling us about that he fucked 100 girls in a month. And we're like, we don't care. What is... And he's like, do you want to see my girlfriend that I'm banging right now? We're like, no. We don't give a shit. And he's like, well, here she is anyway. And she pulls her up. And it's just like, God damn, man. What is your fucking deal? And sure, she was pretty, but she had a billion filters on her, and she looked basically like the fucking fake Barbie. Huge fake tits. Her fucking lips were just basically covering her nose. They were so swollen. I mean, God, to each their own, but fuck, bud. We don't care. Anyway, I'm trying to get some photos, like some secret photos of the Hidden Temple Gin to prove that the fucking booze actually made it there. And Buddy's like, I don't give a fuck. I'll take the photos for you. I'm like, all right, man. Like, I'm not risking getting fucking kicked out of here. So, we did some fucking incognito photos. And then, like I said, I'm looking at Brad. I'm like, I got to get the fuck away from this guy. Like, I'm not even wasted, and I want to fight this guy as if it's a bar. Like, I hated him. I hated every single thing, what he stood for, his attitude, how he was talking about women, how he was talking about his clout. And he even said, I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, we were able to get the fuck away from this guy. We, kind of slithered away. We used his own tactic like a snake to get the fuck away from him. And then the ceremony starts. And Brad and I are like, fuck, man, where are we going to sit? We sat right in the sun. It sucked. We're like the whitest fucking people there, and we're just pouring a sweat. The sun is just beating down, man. And we're like, this is the worst spot in the world. But little did we know that fucking Arsenio Hall sat right beside us. Arsenio Hall, one of the legendary fucking talk show hosts of the 80s, is sitting right there. And we didn't know, what kind of seating arrangement. We just kind of grabbed this. And sure as shit, the whole parade of the kids, the father, the groom, the bride, of course, all the best men, all, bridesmaids, they walked right in front. We had the best seat in the house. Happy fucking accident. Now I'm seeing Lady Justice working in our favor. I'm like, wow, this is like literally front fucking row. And then Mike comes out. He's wearing shades, of course. Cool son of a bitch. He's wearing shades, looking fucking dapper. Walks down the aisle like a fucking boss. And then all, the bridesmaids come out. And the best men. And then Eddie Murphy and the bride. And I mean, Eddie Murphy looks fantastic. He doesn't look a day over 50. And it was just wild. Seeing a legendary comic, a legendary action superstar in front of you at his home. We were allowed to be there, which is the most fucked up thing, man. We were invited. And here we are, and there's Eddie Murphy and the absolutely stunning Bria Murphy walking down the aisle. And we got perfect fucking seats. And I do have to mention this. There was an entire fucking camera team. There must have been 12 camera operators, a drone, and they had an actual fucking shoulder cam. It was unbelievable. I even think they had a steady cam there. This is its own feature film. And of course, the reverend or the priest, whatever you'd like to call him, because I'm not religious, I don't know who the fuck he is, but he was great. He was saying some of the nicest things that relates to everybody, whether you believe in God or not. And it was just so beautiful. It was so nice. And the coolest thing about the ceremony itself was, once they both said their vows and walked down the aisle. The cameras are just snapping photos all over and shooting video. Mike fucking fist bumps us on the way out, man. So that was super cool. It was cool to be acknowledged, And Mike, if you're listening to this, which I think you probably are because you do like the podcast, that was super cool of you, man. We felt at that moment, it was yeah, we're part of the family here. So Everybody, once they kind of walked down the aisle and did their thing, we all departed and the booze started flowing. And that's when things started lighting up. They had some of the greatest fucking bartenders there, cocktails, whatever the hell you wanted. They had any drink. They even had Red Stripe. And of course, they had the Hidden Temple gin on display, and not just on display, but everybody could drink it. And every single person that had it said it was the best gin they have ever drank. So it's making me feel good. I'm starting to warm up a little bit. You know, I've snapped a couple incognito photos, a couple incognito videos. I've had a number of drinks. I'm starting to loosen up. And also, I think everybody is. Nobody really knew each other. And weddings are supposed to be fun and, you know, exciting, whatnot. But you could tell that nobody really knew each other. Maybe some family members, etc. But everyone was starting to loosen up a bit and start introducing themselves. And it was just like this small party turning into a big one. So once the dinner comes out, it was in Eddie Murphy's tennis court. And goddamn, I'll put a video in of this as well, because this was unbelievable. They had this beautiful dance floor built on the court itself with a beautiful B and a big ass M for Bria, Murphy, and Bria and Michael. It was just stunning. And there was so many flowers and lights and the bar and the tables. It was just top fucking tier. Allison comes up to us and says, "Hey guys, I've been looking all over for you. I got you guys at the same table." We're just like breathed a sigh of relief. Like, thank fuck, man. Imagine we're sitting at a table not knowing anybody. I'd feel like a prick. I'd feel like such a fucking imposter. So shout out to Allison for finally getting Brad and I at the same table. And I'll tell you what, Allison, another huge thank you. We had the best fucking seats in the house. We were right along the side of the dance floor. We could see everything. We were right in the action. So all these cameramen that were running around filming the whole thing had it up on a big, huge projector. And my ugly mug was up there for quite a bit. So was Brad's. And it was just fucking great. And we get like the what is it? What's the appetizer? I guess it's what it's called. And it was good. It was fucking good. It was just like a wee salad, but it was fucking tasty. And, you know, Arsenio Hall gets up there and he starts fucking doing his thing and fucking, the drinks keep on flowing. And all I can see is that douchebag right in the fucking very back and his dumb little fucking eyes like kind of beating down at us as if like he wanted to sit up with us. And it was like, nope, sorry, bud. Fucking that clout ain't get you nowhere today, you know? And I was just starting to feel better about myself, and especially I liked seeing this guy suffer. And I don't mean to say that in like a bad way. Like, I'm sure the guy is he's like a good piece of shit, but he's still a piece of shit. Anyway, so the party starts and there's some speeches. Eddie Murphy gets up there and does his speech, giving his blessing to Mike and Bria. And Michael's dad gets up there, does this long, heartfelt speech, and Bria gets up there. Everyone is so well spoken too. So they're just banging it off the fucking charts. And then dinner comes out and I got the steak. I got the Angus beef, baby. And it was great. It was, this is top tier shit, right? So I can't complain. I mean, I had Subway that morning. So fuck, it's a pretty damn good meal if you ask me. Fucking every last little bit. And people start dancing. Everyone's starting to loosen up. And goddamn, man, what a time. We just started drinking and mingling. And because, listen here, folks, I've told you this before in one of my smoking videos, because I did say in part 1 that I was hacking darts the entire weekend. And I'll tell you why. Because that's where you meet people. That is where you meet people, is in the smoking area. And man, we did. Brad and I met some of the coolest people. We had the most meaningful and in-depth conversations in the smoking area. Why? Because it's just a few people and you're stuck there. Sometimes somebody doesn't have a lighter. So once you give them a lighter, boom, conversation, you're in. Just fucking awesome. We met some really, really important people. Actually, we met somebody that wants to move the gin to Santa Monica. So after this podcast, I've got to do a bunch of work there to see, if there's something that we can work out, or if it's even possible to smuggle more booze down. God damn, don't want to fucking risk it. But it was just incredible. And as the night keeps on going, everyone's getting a little drunker. Everyone's having a little bit more of a fucking time. And douchebag fucking weasels his way in. Brad and I are at the bar, and you can see this fucking guy approaching from a mile away, and he comes up. He's shit-faced, like absolutely fucking plastered. Why? Because he was drinking at 7:30 in the fucking morning, not just wine, but straight gin. At this point, it's maybe 10 o'clock, and he's just absolutely shit-faced, and he's doing everything he can to, like, hang out with us, and we wanted nothing to do with him. Absolutely nothing. And the greatest thing is, this fucking suave piece of shit that was talking about how many chicks he was banging, he was hitting on a 70-year-old woman. And she didn't even want nothing of him. She was kind of like batting him off, and he was like trying to get his arm around her, and she was like, no. And the best part of it all, folks, the fucking best part of it all is I looked down, and he had fucking cake icing smeared all up his ass. And Brad wanted to say something, and I was like, no, you got to let this guy walk around this fucking wedding with that cake smear. Fucking lady justice, man, Oh, and one of my most embarrassing things is as I'm walking out of the fucking to have a smoke, Brad notices a button on the ground, and it was my fucking jacket button. I'm falling apart here, folks. My fucking suit just keeps on falling apart. I couldn't believe it. There's no way I could sew it back on. So I ended up having to take a lighter to the fucking phrase and like squishing it into the actual suit itself. I was so fucking embarrassed. Like, here I am. You're supposed to have a bow tie. No bow tie. Supposed to have a clean suit. No clean suit. Supposed to have a fucking button. No fucking button. I'm actually, after this podcast, I'm going to Men's Tux and whatever and Suits here in Vancouver, and I'm going to bitch. That was fucking embarrassing. And now, mind you, because I had the chains on the breast pocket, nobody would have ever saw that my button was gone. But still, it made me feel like shit. It made me feel like a bum, which I am. But I mean, this was my James Bond moment. This is my fucking my Secret Service moment. And it was fucking ruined. And the suit was just literally falling off my body. But I mean, if it was going to happen to anybody, it would happen to me. And that's just the way she fucking goes. So we're having a good time. I'm seeing this douchebag just making an absolute fool of himself. Nobody wants anything to do with the guy. And I'm glad, because he was a shitty person and he got what he had coming to him. You don't go to a place like this at if you're invited and get shit-faced. Maybe at 2 a.m. it's okay it's a pass. But no, you behave, you be a gentleman and you pull it together. You can get shit-faced any other day of the week. But, this is a time of celebration and, trying to fucking present yourself in a decent light. And here I am with the shitty fucking suit, but I'm not sober, but I'm keeping it together. And I'm meeting people, man, left, right, and center. Everyone's been so nice. Everyone was so polite and like open to talk about anything and everything. It was just amazing. And of course, Mike and Bria had their dance, and it was beautiful. And, it just went off without a hitch. I'll tell you, this was so fucking well done. And everybody that was behind the scenes was so cool. Now, to wrap up this wedding story, a couple more things. So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. Brad's shit-faced. I'm pretty drunk, but I'm not shit-faced yet. And we go out to the shuttle bus, and it's the last fucking bus. But guess who's on that bus? That's right, douchebag. And he's screaming at us. He's screaming at us from the fucking door of the shuttle bus. Hey, boys, get your fucking asses over here and drink with me at the hotel. Come on, motherfuckers. And he's swearing like a fucking child. And I'm like, I'm not getting on that bus. Nope. No. I'll sleep on the fucking street. There's no goddamn way I can deal with this guy. And he's screaming at us, and the bus is just closing the door on his dumb face. And I'm like, yeah. And Brad's freaking out. He's like, how the fuck are we gonna get home? We're far. And I said, I don't care. We'll figure it out. But there's no way I'm going on that bus with that guy. So we walk inside, and I let Mike know. I'm like, dude, like I think we missed the last shuttle. And I ended up walking into Eddie Murphy's house. I know. Don't think I was allowed to do this, but I did. Why? Because I introduced myself to all the key people, and they liked me. And I saw them inside, and I wanted to talk to them. So I went inside to Eddie Murphy's kitchen, and it was gorgeous, as you'd expect. And I went up to his assistant, and I said, hey, I think we're fucked for a ride home, and we have nowhere to sleep. And she literally, no word of a lie, she's like, well, you can sleep here. And I'm like, what? I'll sleep on the fucking grass. If I can, I'll sleep on my couch. And she's like, oh, no, there's guest rooms. You can sleep here. But Brad, I'm calling you out, buddy. Calling out Brad. Brad spent however much money, every single dollar in his wallet on this hotel that he could not say yes to it. He had to go back to the fucking hotel to get his money's worth. Now, I get that, but I also think we missed a pretty wicked opportunity there, buddy. We could have slept at Eddie fucking Murphy's place, woke up, to primo coffee that nobody drinks other than the stars. But nope. But that being said, I mean, like, I'm just throwing you under the bus there, buddy. It was fucking fantastic. They end up calling another shuttle. Actually, there's a few stragglers as well. And we ended up getting the last shuttle at about 3 a.m., and it was just fucking incredible. They pulled up, super accommodating, and Brad's passing out in the fucking chair. I'm hacking darts with everybody and fucking drinking right on the street. Like, you got to remember, we are in a gated community, and we're acting like fucking, like, imbeciles. Swearing, smoking, tossing butts, and the fucking security didn't care. They're cool with it. Everybody was doing it. And this is like not just like nobody's like me. This is like, cousins and brothers of Eddie Murphy. Or not brothers, but like this is like immediate family that we're hanging out with here. So I didn't feel like I was out of line by, tossing a butt across the street or swearing the way we were. It was great. It was fucking awesome. And, the bonding that happened that night was... I'll never forget it. I'll never fucking forget it. And who knows, I might be able to talk to these guys down the road. And if I don't, that's cool too. But the memories will always be there. And to be honest, even if I didn't have my phone, one last thing. Arsenio Hall, when he came up on stage, did tell everybody, fuck what they said at the door. Pull out your iPhones. Pull out your Samsungs. He started rapping that, literally. And so everyone at that point was like, allowed to use their phones. So I did get a lot more footage and a lot more videos than I originally kind of thought I was going to get. So that's really cool. And what I'll do is I'll kind of scatter them in and out of this episode if you're going to watch it. So I'll have to do some editing there. But that is the wedding, man. And the next day we were invited to brunch, and brunch was fucking awesome. We had to get up at a certain time. I mean, we were all hungover, man. Everyone was looking like ass, except for the women. The women were on fucking point. Eyelashes, hair done, fucking makeup. All the guys were like fucking haggard as shit. And I don't know, man. But it was so cool to be invited to the brunch the next day. And there was these and this is at the Four Seasons private back lot. It was insane. Huge rows of buffet, and I'm talking hardcore food. Like, not just like cereal and fucking toast. I'm talking waffles and chicken and salmon and fruit and just everything you could imagine was there. And of course, open fucking bar. So that's when the pina coladas started. Now I'm looking around. To see who was invited and to see who was at the brunch. And guess who I didn't see? That's right. Douchebag. Why? Probably because he got so fucking wasted he couldn't make it. And that's his own fault. He fucked up big time. Not only that, I'm so glad I didn't have to see him or talk to him or anything like that, but it just goes to show you, man, this guy made terrible fucking decisions from day one. Getting wasted at 7:30, shit-faced by 9, blacked out by 2. Come on. You know, have a little bit of class, and that's coming from me. So it was just funny. I got to say, it made me all cheery inside that knowing that he did not make the brunch, even though, again, it was a brilliant opportunity for redemption. You could be like, yeah, I had too much to drink last night and like, you know, kind of rekindle some relationships that you made earlier in the night. But he missed the fucking mark. Missed the fucking mark. Whatever, man. I'll never forget it, though. So I just want to say thank you, Mike, Bria. You guys are an incredible couple. I love you both. And, you know, I said this the other day, you know, like Mike is my brother and now Bria is my sister. I love you. And I just want to wish you guys a happy future and a happy life together. And, of course, all of Mike's family was incredible. All Bria's family was incredible. Everybody was so nice. And the wedding was absolutely gorgeous. And everything worked out. Lady Justice, we're at 60-40 now, folks. We're at 60-40 now. So, you know, things are looking up. But, folks, listen here. I've done a 30-minute podcast here, so I'm going to have to break this up into 3 parts. This is crazy. This is the longest and most editing I've had to do in a single episode. So I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to do some editing. As you can see, I'm soaking wet. The van is just fucking cooking. But that is my experience at the wedding and the brunch. Everybody kicked ass. We kicked ass. We pulled it together. We got to sit together. We got to take some photos. We had fucking high fives and cheers and some of the best food around. And not just that, we got to see how someone at the A fucking level in Hollywood lives. It was a very humble home, I got to say. A lot of people are probably thinking, how big was the place? It was very humble. I mean, all things considered, you know, for somebody, you know, that fucking up there. But yeah, it was a very humble home. Everyone was extremely nice, and we had an absolute blast. And I love that douchebag didn't come to the damn brunch. Fuck you, bud. That being said, folks, I'm sorry that I focus so much on that guy. But you know when you see somebody and you're just like, ugh, that's how I felt. So we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you all so much for tuning in for this episode. This is part 2, and I got part 3 coming up because a lot of things still happen. We still have 3 days in California, and we did some fun shit and had some weird times and some really interesting ones. I'll tell you that right now. This was not a good trip. It was an interesting trip. So if you want, please tune in to part 3. I don't know what this episode is going to be called. I'll do that on the upload date. But thank you all so much for tuning in to part 2 of the LA adventure. As you know, you can always go on over, support the show at buymeacoffee.com/JohnnyNoCash. If you want to get some merch, you can go to Bandcamp/JohnnyNoCash, or you can check out the old Instagram. You just type in Johnny No Cash, okay? It's all over the place. And once again, I just got to say one more time, thank you so much to Nickel 9 and the Hidden Temple Gin. You guys knocked it out of the park. Everyone fucking loved it, which was I hadn't even tasted it at this point. I was fucking really worried that it was maybe going to be shit, but it was incredible. So thank you guys so much. Big old shout out to Sea Rock Live too in Toronto. Check out your live music in Toronto. And that being said, I'm going to wrap this all up. Thank you all so much. I love y'all. Stagger Crawl. What the fuck? How do I get out of this? All right. Stay dusty. I'm out. I'm living in a van playing outlaw tunes. Live with Johnny No Cash. Smoking them smokes and drinking that booze. Live with Johnny No Cash. Where I go, how the fuck I'll know I'm off the grid on dusty roads. There ain't no better way of eating beans.